Okay, I may have actually found a video that we can watch. So let's watch it. Boy.
I eat a lot of sheet metal. People have tried
Sheet
telling me
metal.
that I have an addiction, but I ignore them because my
Mm.
therapist tells me that I'm somebody who should avoid negativity. What I'm more addicted
Nice.
to is insanely violent 3D
Oh my
geometric
god, that
frameworks.
Bionicle.
Partly because I like the foreboding feeling it gives me, similar to nearly dying in a high-speed collision, but more than that, I enjoy the anguish it afflicts on those I show it to. Naturally, my goal has become...
What is that Minecraft Steve? Oh my goodness.
To acquire as many of the worst examples of digital assets as possible and show
Cubes,
it to as
by
many
the way.
people as I can before I
Look
am
at it!
committed involuntarily.
The marshmallow room. Look at it! I want all of you to look at it!
It seems I previously made a mistake in assuming I would need to bring the bad models to VR chat.
Oh no! Oh no! Why would you do this? Why would you recreate the Starfield sandwich and put it in VR chat? Ah, yes. Yeah, just gotta stress test that person's vibe. That's more of a vibe. I mean, not a vibe, but a quest. A vibe check, even.
When in reality, they were always there, waiting for me, like a mail-order bride. I
Wow.
really wanted to share some heinous examples with you all, but I didn't really feel like digging through e-girls, beta male orbiters, and whatever this is again.
Pyrocynical.
To discover more violent
what are you doing here?
Without needing more professional counseling than a game developer already requires. Like any good entrepreneur, I needed a way to streamline the process. Thankfully, after a very long and arduous 10-minute Google search.
Hello, Metal Arms. I will play you someday because I want to.
I discovered a website called vrmodels.store.
I need to.
A reprehensible abyss where things like blurring adult content has the consistency of a United States president. I'm pretty sure in my research, every model I've downloaded has contained some kind of Bitcoin miner, Trojan virus, or some other form of malicious software. However, I have been secretly microdosing my computer with low-level malware for multiple years, and it has almost certainly become immune to whatever this website could throw our way.
So yeah, that's a lesson. Inject your computer with low-level malware, and your computer will be stronger against stronger malware. Don't actually do that, by the way. Don't actually do that, by the way. You'll break your PC somehow. Aw, yeah. Time for some stinky models.
I tried downloading the newest character model listed on the front page. It took me to a mega download link with a Unity package file. After doing my due diligence and
now you're good.
Higher powers, I went ahead and downloaded
Pray to Allah.
Directly to my
Praise
computer.
Allah.
Since this is a Unity package, we're going to have to jump through some hoops to get to the model, but luckily I happen to have my own project, All Goblin, open in the background at all times.
Hell yeah.
We have two options.
Awesome.
Learn how to open a Unity package and sift through a million useless folders to find it, or import it directly into my own project right now.
Put the malware right into the game.
Which took about 2 to 3 Clash Royale matches. This is now the new main character of All Goblin, and if you have a problem with that, congratulations, you're a misogynist. The Unity package was just shy of 1 gigabyte and is over twice as large as All Goblin itself. Luckily, I know a thing or two about big packages, and now that my game has double the assets it used to have, we can successfully open this character in Blender. It's just shy of 200,000 polygons, but this is definitely due to the downright gluttonous amount of clothing items attached to it.
Look at all of
the
those.
Topology itself was a little excessive in some places, but overall it was fine, which means I don't care about it, so we will have to continue our search.
Into the trash it goes.
Bitcoin miner in disguise, quickly imported it into All Goblin and then into Blender, where my eyes were assaulted by what seemed to be 30 to 40 armature bones.
Oh my god! That's a lot of bones! That's more bones than a bad ham.
In the armature tab, which would make
I really needed to think about that one.
Regardless of the camera angle. I don't usually say this, but I was incorrect. And enabling in front revealed about 100 more bones.
That's
Unsure
all.
as to what I was looking at, I attempted to do a little
Holy
research.
smokes.
I at first thought it might be the multiple outfits buried beneath this bone Christmas tree, but they didn't even have as many clothing items as the all-goblin main character. And
no, it's all freaking jiggle bones for the cloth physics. It's all cloth physics.
And not all of them would have
Mother of
custom
mercy.
bones anyway. I started digging into the armature names to try and ascertain
Tummy
what
jiggle?
this might all be for. However,
Wow.
discovering the multiple bones labeled
Coochie root.
both coochie and tummy jiggle prompted me to end this search early. That is all I needed to know.
Oh my
On to the next
goodness.
A wheelchair with
Ooh,
almost
a wheelchair.
700,000 triangles.
What the
which is
fuck?
honestly a very impressive number when looking at the model itself. It
That is
looks
a pretty
alright
good
from a
wheelchair,
faraway
though.
view, but looking up close, it is insanely detailed, having all nuts and bolts individually modeled. What
You
tips the
don't need
scale
to
over
do
is
that.
likely the treads on the tires being modeled individually, and each one having the faces continue through to the insides of the tires. This might be
What
the
the
most
f-
represented wheelchair users
Holy
have been
shit.
since Spy Kids 3D. I tried to continue my
Yeah.
search, downloaded a few
Oh
more
god,
files
it's all-
until the default browser
There's
on
so
my
much-
computer changed, and I became
Oh.
stuck typing with some kind of foreign hieroglyphics.
Oh
And moved on
no.
to the next
It's
area of study.
all in
AI-generated
Chinese.
3D models.
Oh boy. Time
Using
for
AI
AI.
to create your models might be one of the least respectable areas AI has invaded, in
Oh
my opinion.
boy.
I understand the AI voiceovers. I understand
Okay,
using it to
yeah.
write your college thesis and subsequently flunking when you forget to remove the ChatGPT prompt in the beginning.
Kind of deserved, but you know what? College is a scam, so yeah, they deserve that.
But creating models is the most fun and engaging part of almost anything it is a part of, even if you are no good at actually doing it.
Creator ass.
And after finding what you are about to see, I will never understand how someone could take the heart and soul out of this beautiful field of art in exchange for this. I took a look at 3 different
Oh,
online
God.
3D model generators. The first of which was Tripo 3D. I needed something that I could use as a kind of bedrock for which I could test this with.
That's how you
I
use
needed someone
tools, by the
strong,
way.
dependable,
Strong.
and with a large amount of sex appeal.
Markiplier.
Clash Royale game to model and texture the 4 different Markipliers. Picking one
The
and
4
throwing it
Mark.
into
Oh my.
Blender, we can examine it a
Oh
little
my
closer.
God.
Just shy of 500,000 faces.
Oh
every
my
facet of this
God.
model was lovingly generated to perfectly complement the god in which its image was made.
Oh my
If you are a fan
god.
of those Topology gore posts that are nothing but orange because of how dense the object
Oh my
is, this should
God.
excite you, because what we found
It's
here
all
is a website
orange.
that generates these completely for free. No more subdividing several times and hoping that your computer doesn't end its suffering prematurely. What's even better, we aren't even the ones doing it anymore. Can't have shit as a 3D artist.
Those fuckers generated a 500,000 polygon Markiplier. Can't have shit as a 3D artist. Go, if you're a VTuber, please hug your 3D artist. They need it. That is something I can get behind, is like, Jesus fucking Christ, I think AI is not going to replicate modelers.
An interesting thing to note is that there are exactly as many triangles as there are faces, because quads quite simply do not exist here. Utilizing the tries to quads feature just about halves the polygon count. But to be honest, it
But it
somehow makes
still
it look
fucking
even worse.
sucks.
Obviously, the next course of action was to see if my job as a goblin enthusiast was about to be outsourced. I specifically entered a prompt for a full character model of a goblin, since Markiplier seems to have been permanently trapped in a Dr. Green-like bust in his likeness.
Oh
Very
god!
disappointingly, these models were far cries from what a goblin
Those-
actually looks like.
Those are not goblins. I mean, yeah, these are not goblins.
And
What the
quite
fuck are
frankly,
these?
I've never been more offended.
What
There
the fuck
seems to
are
be some kind of
these?
confusion here because these resemble rat demons
just
rather than
woke up.
goblins. It's the only one that didn't have
Is
a
it Daniel
tail, but
Larson?
Even with that glaring issue out of the picture, nothing about this object resembles a goblin in any way. And if it does for any of you, then you're a moron. The 450,000 triangles seem to be contributing to a few areas this time, namely the extremely accurate muscle anatomy,
Look at
some
the
polyps
muscle.
forming
Look
here
at
and
those
there, and the
muscles.
elongated nipples, which
You gotta have the nipples.
I would like to remind you are not accurate to goblins. I would like that to be
Goblins
very clear.
do
I
not
got
have
curious and looked to
nipples.
see what the texture given by the website looked like and found a beautifully illustrated
Oh
baby
my
map. I
fucking
might not be out of
god.
a job, but if you're an abstract artist, then I hope you're also good at customer service. Through the power of correlation and causation, I deduced that this may indicate the UV maps of this model would be particularly interesting. It's a little impressive that the model can look as presentable as it does with texture maps like this. At least until you look too close. Still, hurt by what this godless machine believes a goblin looks like, I attempted to gaslight it into self-destructing, but it didn't seem
Bugs
to do
in your
much.
skin.
The models it produced from my attempt were just as dog shit, so I moved on
now
to the
Bugs.
next website. Meshy AI would be the second victim to get a glimpse into my twisted psyche. On its homepage, it had a list of companies they had presumably worked with, proudly scrolling by, including some household names such as Sega.
Oh,
was up first,
no.
as he should be. It gave me a little quiz I couldn't avoid while it generated the Markipliers, so I was unable to give it the Clash Royale rating. But texturing almost took a full match, which knocks it below Trippo quite a bit in generation time. It claims the default models range between 100 to 200,000 faces, but the one I chose had 240,000. Once again, we have the same amount of triangles as faces, only for some reason, almost every edge has been marked as sharp, giving the model this strange texturing all over it. I thought every edge had been marked as sharp at first, but there are some edges without this in completely random places. This is an easy fix, and removing it reveals it somehow looks even worse than the topology from the last Markiplier, despite being less dense overall. Moving on to the Goblin model, we once again see the
finally, now that's a gobbo.
Strange misconception that goblins are in some way related to rats. I would like to have a word with these AI moguls. Someone get me in a room with them. I want to, invest. This one had 439,000 faces.
Okay, it's still ratty. It's still a little bit.
The mouth turns into this terrible rat snout. The head bulges out like a Twitch streamer. It has these strange holes all over it like it's been shot dead in the Bronx. The feet are modeled perfectly. Very accurate.
Very
in all
cool.
Good feet. They have the final test. The crucible by which a product's future will be decided.
Oh boy.
If it cannot pass this, it is not ready. Human testing. The durability test. College campuses.
Time for the...
In our case, we will attempt to recreate the perfect specimen using the image to model option. If it cannot create a good model from this, it's not likely it will do anything correct. It failed all 4 attempts spectacularly. Like a father at a baseball game watching his 7-year-old strike out, I was not happy. It probably would have done better from a text prompt.
Oh my fucking god, all those edges.
Close to passable. The best one was probably the one with the cinder block for a cape. It has 3 arms, but it got the ass right at least.
Nice ass.
Overall, very disappointing. Lastly, I wanted to see how a paid version of this service would fare. I settled on Deep AI. It was $5 to get some credits to use the 3D generation, but I had to pay again because I didn't realize that you had to pay for the subscription in order to actually use the 3D generator.
That's fucking stupid.
This version of Markiplier. After seeing the work of the free versions, I can only imagine what awaited me for $5 whole of milk-drinking beauty.
Bring me a bucket of cream.
It took almost an entire Clash Royale match to create one single Markiplier.
Oh my god!
35,000 polygons later, and it barely registers in your brain as having a face. I think it remembered this image from when I attempted to get around the paywall by using the image to model prompt.
I have red hair.
That's awesome.
Goblins were up next, and once again,
again with the goblins.
Because the past attempts had me in belief that anything must be better. I'm not sure how this was produced. I even put full body in the prompt to make sure that it actually produced an entire
full body? No,
model
fuck you, half body.
This was just uninspired,
just a face,
which is not an insult I thought would have any merit for a computer-generated 3D model, yet here we are. I wanted to push Deep AI to its limit, so I entered a complicated prompt involving Crash Bandicoot with 13 arms and 16 legs. It just made Crash Bandicoot. And the topology is dog shit. I
Of
think this
course,
machine is mocking
naturally.
me because now it creates something with a full body, but doesn't give the same respect to the goblins or Markiplier. To make matters
Yeah,
worse, it
what a
only looks
jerk.
a little bit like Crash Bandicoot. In a last
Kinda.
desperate attempt, I tried to give it the easiest possible prompt. Something so simple it couldn't possibly get this wrong.
What is it?
I gave it Apple.
Apple?
It fucked it up.
Those are
And
more.
its 98,000 faces.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Naturally, I put everything together in Unity. Now the main character of my game has reached its full potential, and All Goblin can at last reach a widespread audience.
Nice.
I can't in good faith recommend you use AI-generated models in any capacity. Unless you are quadriplegic, legally blind, or European, it is literally impossible for you to do worse than this. Thank you for watching. I thought that the models I'd looked at in the past had been the worst this wretched world had to offer. If I learned one thing in making this video, however, it's that I haven't even scratched the surface of what man-made horrors lie in wait out there, and I'm very much looking forward to sharing more with all of you.
I look forward to it. I don't know, I think I can comprehend these horrors. These man-made horrors seem a little comprehensive, but yeah. That's getting a like, and that's getting a subscribe. Thank you, funny Goblin Man. Thank you very much.